Yo, hey guys, what is up? It's JJ Tech here, back again for another brand new spanking video. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about everything you need to know on the brand new 2021 Ford Raptor. So as you know, the Ford Raptor just got unveiled, or I should say the 2021 Ford Raptor just got unveiled and announced, which means, of course, I'm going to be dropping a video on it. And as of me recording this video, which was recorded the day after the Ford Raptor unveiling, I'm pretty much updated on all the information. And I'm going to be talking about everything you need to know, like looks, the specs of the engines, engine types, will there be any engine types, stay tuned for the end of the video, what the price is going to be on this new Ford Raptor, as well as when will you be able to get your hands on this new Ford Raptor. So with no further ado, let's get into the video. So starting off with the looks, guys, which is probably one of the most important things you guys probably want to know about first. So looks, as you can see here, this thing, I honestly just don't know what to say. I am just astounded by the looks on this thing. I am not even kidding. I mean, honestly, it might even be better looking than the new Ram TRX, but we're gonna have to save that for a later video, for a comparison video. But going back to the design on this thing, starting off in the front, as you can see here, Ford is still sticking with that wide body look with the fender flares sticking out as much as they can. And then going to the headlights, as you can see here, amber headlights. So that's something that the Raptor's always had unique to it compared to the F-150s, the non-Raptor models, is that instead of a regular daytime running light, these are going to be amber, so everybody knows what exactly you're driving down the road. And obviously the three marker lights in the front, instead of going just regular marker lights, they've elongated them to make it look even more mean. Now the bumper, something I did notice is the bumper is pretty much unchanged. They kind of made some slight tweaks to it, but as you can see here, the grill though, the grill, they did make some slight tweaks to it. I'm not sure if you can tell, but in the Ford emblem where it says Ford, the F and the D are actually a little bit taller and wider. I'm pretty sure that's for better cooling, but we'll talk about that when we get to the engine types. Will there be any engine types though? Well, you're gonna have to wait though. But let's get back to the looks, as you can see here. So that's the front, and as you can see, the hood also is pretty much the same as last gen, which is not a problem because last gen and obviously new gen, like I said, there was not a problem with the hood. In fact, the hood was for me one of the best parts because it just bulged out how muscular the front end looks on this thing. Now heading onto the rear, as you can see here, the LED lights back here, it's a little bit more subdued, you know. The tail lights, they pretty much look identical to the traditional Ford F-150, not really much change in here. Maybe I can kind of tell that they kind of blacked out the headlight just a tad, but hey, let me know in the comments down below if you guys noticed that as well. But other than that, it's pretty much unchanged back here. As you can see here, the big Ford emblem back here is pretty much the same as before. Nothing really changed, as well as the bumper pretty much looks exactly the same, kind of like a carryover. But hey, that's not exactly a problem because hey, last gen was one of the best looking trucks out there. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me though. Now heading on to the wheels, as you can see here, you now can have options for bead lock wheels. Those are going to be an option though, they're not going to be a standard, just letting you know. So as you know, the Ram TRX has bead locks as well as traditional wheels. Looks like Ford is taking a page out of Ram's book and adding bead lock wheels to the Ford Raptor options. Now in this case, these images that I'm showing you do have the bead lock wheels, and I gotta say, man, I love them. Compared to the TRX, don't get me wrong, have good looking wheels, especially the bead locks, but these just look a tad bit better in my opinion, of course. Let me know in the comments down below what you think on the look of this thing overall and the styling. Let me know, does it look better than the Ram TRX? Let me know in the comments down below. Now before we get into anything else, as you can see here, let's head on to the tires now that we're talking about wheels. Not sure if you can tell, but this tire is significantly bigger than the last gen Raptor and pretty much any stock truck that's sold on the market. Yes, even the Ram TRX. So what I mean is the Ford Raptor now comes with 37s as an option though. So as you know, before the last gen had 35s pretty much all across the board no matter what trim you went for on. Well, now for the new Ford Raptor, you're gonna have more than one option to pick what set of tires you want. So what I mean by that is, I should say, I guess, size options for the tires. So now you'll be able to get your pick between 35-inch tires and the massive 37-inch tires. That's actually a first on any production truck. No other truck comes with 37s as standard, at least in the half-ton market, not counting, you know, the heavy-duty market. But as you can see here, I mean, I just love it, man. That's something that I definitely felt like the last gen Raptor needed was just a little bit of a bigger tire just to fill in those wheel wells to make it look even more aggressive than it already is. So now let's head on to the engine types. Well, I should say engine type. Well, because sadly, Ford did not put a V8 in this Raptor. In fact, they put the exact same carryover to V6 from the last gen Raptor into the new gen. So it's going to be the same 3.5 liter V6. Now, power figures have not been disclosed yet, as well as torque figures. None of those have been disclosed as of the making of today's video. But as soon as I get those numbers, when I do end up making my Ram TRX video and Ford Raptor comparison video, hopefully by then the numbers for the horsepower and torque are out. But for now, they are not out. But yeah, guys, I know a lot of you are going to be disappointed, you know, that out of all those leaks that have been happening that, oh, maybe Ford's going to put the GT500 engine into the new Ford Raptor. Well, sadly, Ford didn't do that, and I myself was very excited for that as well. I was like, oh, maybe they're finally going to have competition. Maybe Ram's finally going to have competition, and that's going to be the Ford Raptor with a V8 as well. But sadly, no V8 in this Raptor, but I got a surprise at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's the only engine type as of right now. The same carryover 3.5 liter V6. Now let's head on to the interior. Now the interior, not gonna lie, doesn't look as different as the newly redesigned Ford F-150s. But as you can see here, heading onto the interior, we do have some bits here to differentiate it from the traditional F-150s. So as you can see here on the steering wheel, they did add some red stitching as well as that red marker in the middle of the steering wheel. As well as for the seats, they're all a little bit more bolstered. Of course, are from Ford Performance, so they're gonna have more bolstered seats, and they are from Recaro. Fun fact. So Recaro seats on the Ford Raptor, as you can see here, red stitching throughout. You know, other than that, the interior is pretty much the same and identical. Now, going on to the gauge cluster, you will have new modes. So as you know, with the traditional F-150s, you have modes like Sport mode, Baja mode, Off-road mode, Rock crawl mode, you know, touring mode and stuff like that. So for the new Raptor, you're gonna have all those options, but now Ford has added Baja mode. So as you know, the Ford Raptor has pretty much always been known as a Baja truck, I guess you can say. So Ford has now added a Baja option in your modes for your gauge cluster. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now onto the transmission. Now that we're speaking of the engine, it is gonna have a 10-speed automatic transmission as the only transmission option for the Ford Raptor. And of course, 4-wheel drive is going to come as standard on every Ford Raptor, no matter which one you go for. Now, there's going to be 7 color options. As you can see here, the one that I've been showing you throughout the video is the launch color, which is just orange. I don't know the exact name of the color, but you are going to have 7 color options. You're going to have that blue, you're going to have that same blue color that was found on the last gen Raptor carried over, and some other colors that aren't as interesting, so they're not even worth mentioning. Now that we're talking about mechanical stuff, let's head out to the rear. And what I mean by the rear, let's head on to the bottom of the truck, going on to the differential. As you can see here, well, I guess you can say the suspension, because back there Ford has finally added coil spring suspension. As you know, last gen Raptor had traditional leaf springs, which high-speed off-roading, that's not really the best. That's not really what you want to have. You want to have coil springs. Well, Ford has finally added coil spring suspension in the rear of this truck, which is first for Ford. Obviously, the only truck that currently has this is the Ram pickup. So pretty much from the Ram 1500 and up are the only pickups that have coil springs all around. Well, Ford is now taking a page out of Ram's book and finally adding coil springs in the rear of the Ford Raptor. Now, speaking of suspension, Ford obviously has Fox shocks in the new Ford Raptor. Now, they're not the same Fox shocks as the last gen Raptor. In fact, these obviously have been retuned, you know, redesigned is what Ford says for this new Raptor. So apparently at higher speeds, you know, the reservoirs for the struts and suspension are going to be able to provide more travel at high speed. So I'm interested to see some videos of that. But hey, at least Ford upgraded the suspension on this bad boy, and we're going to have to see how the Ram TRX and the Ford Raptor compare in terms of suspension. Now let's get on to payload and towing, which is probably something you don't really care about on a Ford Raptor, because obviously the Ford Raptor doesn't really tow much or haul much. But now that we're into it, the payload capacity for the new Ford Raptor is going to be 1,400 pounds. So I believe that is 100 pounds more from the last gen, which really isn't that much of a bump, but at least you do get some upgrades in that remark. And in terms of the towing capacity, you're gonna go from 8,100 pounds to 8,200 pounds. So you're upping the last gen Raptor as well as the new Ram TRX by 50 pounds. So Ford's really trying to have some competition in this space by upping pretty much every towing figure for the new Ford Raptor. But yeah guys, that's pretty much everything you need to know on the brand new 2021 Ford Raptor. But hey, I'm not done with the video quite yet because I promised a surprise at the end of the video, and let me tell you that right now. Well, you're probably wondering what the surprise was, and that is for all you people that thought there wasn't going to be a V8 in a Raptor ever again. Well, think again, because Ford, after the show, after they unveiled the new 2021 Ford Raptor, they actually had a teaser of the new Ford Raptor R. So you're probably thinking, what's the Ford Raptor R? Some performance version? Maybe, you know, cooled seats, something like that? No. The Ford Raptor R, and this is confirmed guys, the Ford Raptor R will be coming with a V8. Now sadly, is that it is a year away from now, from unveiling at least. So at least that kind of sucks. But for all you people that thought that the V8 was gone in the Ford Raptor, well, think again, because Ford is gonna be adding a V8 for the new Ford Raptor R, which is a performance version of the traditional Ford Raptor, and that's something we didn't expect. Now, a lot of leaks out there were pointing out that the Ford Raptor was going to have a V8 as well as a V6 as an option, and that's kind of coming true with the Ford Raptor R. Now, we didn't get pretty much any other information aside from what I just mentioned on the Ford Raptor R. Like, we don't know how it's gonna look, how different it's gonna look from the traditional Ford Raptor, but hey, that was a surprise that I was telling you guys. For all you people that wanted a V8, including myself, we're gonna be having a V8 on the new Ford Raptor R, and stay tuned for a video coming very soon on that. But yeah guys, that pretty much wraps up today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below, as well as hit that like button. Let's try to get this video to 50 likes guys. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up today's video, and also let me know in the comments down below if you guys would like to see more videos like this one, because after this video is gonna be another video related to the Ford Raptor, believe it or not. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.